And then on the email questions, we got about 5 different versions of this. I'll just go with Bill's version. How would you rate the probability of some sort of military conflict with China and Taiwan in the next 2 years?
Zero. Uh,
Like you and I have
well,
discussed basically how Hitler was a crazy man that rolled the dice over and over again until he came up
yeah,
craps in Russia, but he rolled the dice and kept winning. And he
yeah.
wouldn't even take on the UK, and England was 25 miles away.
Yeah.
So Taiwan seems a bit harder, especially when the American Navy's there.
And
Like,
not only that, but what people fail to, I think, to conceptualize is China historically was built along its two rivers, the Yellow River and the Yangtze River. And economically, it was very spread out. And most of the economic centers went way into the center of China, but also into the Northeast in Manchuria, which is the Rust Belt. If you look at the past really 20 years, China's economic center of gravity has moved completely along the coast. It's all along the coast now. And to the point where basically every major Chinese economic center can be destroyed by Taiwanese missiles. And so, Xi Jinping said it himself. Look, a war over Taiwan would be mutual economic destruction. Um, you know, the a war over Taiwan it would only happen if Taiwan declared its independence. And today you have a Taiwanese parliament that is 2/3 against independence. So it's not going to happen for the next 5 years. So the question said, is it going to happen in the next 2 years? The answer is absolutely not. Both sides are actually decently happy with the status quo. And you have today a Taiwanese parliament that will enforce the status quo for the next 4 or 5 years. As for Xi Jinping, I think the view is he's got enough problems to deal with at home. If there's one big lesson from the Ukraine war is that invasion is very hard, and frankly, invading Ukraine is about as easy as it gets because you're
it's
walking
flat.
over. It's flat. You're walking over like wheat fields, and you're sending tanks over wheat fields. Well, we found out with this war, although we already knew it with the Armenia-Azerbaijan war just before, that warfare has dramatically changed, and it's all about drones now. And so, moving troops around, moving ships, moving tanks, they get taken out by cheap drones in a New York second. Now, which country in the world is the biggest producer of drones? It's Taiwan. So, what's fascinating to me is when I'm in the U.S., when I'm in Asia, and when I'm in Europe, nobody ever asks about Taiwan. Nobody. The Taiwanese themselves are really not worried about it. They for the longest time they were cutting their military spending every year. The only people who worry about Taiwan are Americans, and I think because it keeps coming up in the U.S. media, because how else do you justify building a new nuclear sub or a new aircraft carrier? You need a boogeyman.
Kyle
And
Bass
so
needs a pitch deck for his next
yeah,
HKG
that's
knockout
it.
fund.
That's right. That's right. You need the boogeyman, and the boogeyman is China's going to invade Taiwan, and we're going to run out of semiconductors if that happens. But forget it. It's not going to
So
happen.
zero.
Zero.